Let us discuss using super. Super has two uses. The first use is using super, we can call superclass constructor. The second use is using super, we can access a member of a superclass that has been hidden by a member of a subclass. So let us discuss the first use of super. A subclass constructor can call its superclass constructor by use of super keyword. The general form of super keyword as follows. It begins with keyword called super followed by the parenthesis. So inside this parenthesis, we need to specify parameter list. This parameter list is not mandatory, it is optional. Let us move to second point. When we write super inside our subclass constructor, super must always be the first statement inside our subclass constructor, right? So when we write super inside our subclass constructor, it always refers to its immediate superclass. So let us discuss all these 3 points with respect to an example. Here I am using the same program which we have discussed with respect to importance of inheritance. So using this program, I am going to demonstrate how a subclass constructor can call its immediate superclass constructor, right? Now, let me run this program. So once I run this program, I'm getting the expected output. That is, this program computes the volume of the box and the weight of the box. So that's what we are seeing with respect to importance or advantage of inheritance. But by seeing the code of this program, I am not satisfied. So why I am not satisfied? You see that inside the constructor called box, I have a statement called width equal W, height equal H, and depth equal to D. And the same 3 statements I have repeated inside the constructor called box width. You see that width equal to W, height equal to H, and depth equal to D. So whenever you are writing any program, the statement should never be repeated. So how I can resolve this issue? So this issue can be resolved by using a keyword called super. So using super, what I can do, when we write super inside our subclass constructor, this super always refers to its immediate superclass. So what is the superclass of box weight? The superclass of box weight is nothing but it is box. So therefore, the super keyword is going to refer to the superclass constructor. So now inside my superclass, I have 2 constructors. So one is default constructor and one more is parameterized constructor. So which constructor the super keyword is trying to refer? Can you think? So inside this parenthesis, I have not specified any arguments. It means that this super keyword is trying to refer to a default constructor which is present in the class called box. So what is my intention? My intention is I want my super keyword to call a parameterized constructor which is present in my superclass. So now My superclass constructor is taking how many arguments? Is taking 3 arguments, that is width, height and depth. So now these 3 arguments, what I need to do, I need to pass inside my superclass constructor, that is width, height and then depth. So don't try to get confused that I'm passing this W here. No. I'm not passing this W here. I'm passing means I'm specifying this W here and this height here and this depth here. Right? Got it? So in order to avoid confusion, let me write W1, 1 and D1, right? Writing W1, H1 and D1. So what I said, when you write super, super always must be the first statement inside your subclass constructor. That's what I have written. So let me trace this program. So control execution starts from main method, right? So inside my main method, what I've done, I've tried to create an object of a class called boxweight. So once we create an object of a class called boxweight, control immediately jumps to the constructor which is taking 4 arguments. Why? Because at the time of creating an object, I am passing 4 arguments. Therefore, control jumps to the boxweight constructor, right? So now inside my boxweight constructor, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to call this super. And before that, you see that this 10 value will go to W1 and inside the super, the W1 will be 10. Next, I'm passing 20. 20 will go to H1 and the value of H1 will be 20. Then 30, I'm passing to D1 and the value of 30 will be D1. So once I call this super keyword, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to call a superclass constructor which is taking 3 arguments. So what is my superclass here? So with respect to my box weight, box is a superclass. So inside my superclass, I need to have a constructor which is taking 3 arguments. I have a constructor. Yes, I have a constructor which is taking 3 arguments. So this W1 value is nothing but it is 10. 10 will go to W, 20 will go to H and 30 will go to D. So therefore the value of width will be 10, the value of height will be 20, the value of depth will be 30, right? I believe you understood this program. So let me run the program and let us check. We'll get the expected output. That is, I should get the same output. You see that? I got the same output, right? The most important thing we should keep in your mind is the super keyword always must be the first statement to be executed inside your subclass constructor. So let me remove this. So let me put this as a second statement and let us check whether we'll get output or not. You see that? It is throwing an error. So what are is trying to throw? You see that? Call to a super must be the first statement in your constructor. So therefore, what I should do, I need to change. That is, remove this. I need to place super as the first, right? So again, let me run the program. See that I got the output, right? Now let me do some changes to this program and let me replace this super statement with this 3 lines, right? And let me remove this default constructor. I believe you understood, right? I remove the default constructor, then I remove the super keyword. The super keyword I replace with the same three statements. Okay. Now let me run the program. Let us check. We'll get output. Oh, it's showing. So here I've changed to W1, right? So that's why it's telling W1, H1, and then D1. Let me run again. Yeah, you see that I got an error, right? So in order to resolve this error, what we have done previously, can you recollect? That is, when you're discussing importance of inheritance, what I have said? In order to resolve this error, we need to write a default constructor inside my superclass. If you can recollect. Once I write this default constructor, if I run the program, I'll get the output. Now the question is, why I should write this default constructor in order to get the output? The most important thing you need to keep in your mind. So whenever you write any subclass constructor, inside your subclass constructor, the first statement which is executed is a super keyword. I repeat, inside your subclass constructor, the first statement to be executed is always super keyword. That is, if you write or if you don't write, by default, this statement will get executed. So what this statement means, as I said, means I'm trying to call a superclass constructor which is not taking any arguments. So right now, inside my class call box, I have any constructor which is taking 0 arguments. Yes, I have a constructor. So that's why it is not throwing any error. But if you remove this statement, if you run the program, you see that it throws an error. So why it throws an error? Because the first statement that gets executed inside your subclass constructor is super keyword, and control immediately jumps to your superclass constructor and checks whether I have any constructor which is taking 0 argument. Since I don't have any constructor which is taking 0 arguments, it throws an error. So once I type a default constructor and once I run, I'll get the correct output because I've written this default constructor. Let's discuss second use of super. The second form of super is most applicable in situations where member names of a subclass hides members with the same name in the superclass. The general form is super.member. So let me explain the above statement with respect to an example. In this program, I have a class called A. Inside this class called A, I have an instance variable called I. So next, I have a class called B, which is trying to extend a class called A. So inside the class called B, I have an instance variable called I. Then I have a parameterized constructor, and inside this constructor, I'm trying to initialize the values of instance variables. Inside this constructor, I'm trying to initialize values for the instance variables. Then I have a show method. Inside the show method, I'm trying to print the value of I which is present in superclass. and again I'm trying to print the value of I which is present in subclass. Then I have a class called demo. Inside the class called demo, I have a main method, and inside the main method, I'm trying to create an object of a class called B, and this object I'm trying to store in a variable called sub-ob. The type of the sub-ob is B. Then using this object sub-ob, I'm trying to call a show method, right? Now, let us trace these programs line by line. In order to trace the program, the control execution begins from main. Inside the main method, I'm trying to create an object of a class called B. So once I create an object of a class called B, control immediately jumps to the constructor. So inside this constructor, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to initialize the value of I to A. And what is the value of A? Let us check. Here you see that at the time of creating an object, I passed a value called 1, and this value 1 will go to A, and the value of I will be 1. Similarly, I have passed 2, the 2 will go to B, and the value of second I will be 2. Now, in this program, we are thinking that the first I corresponds to the I which is present in superclass, and the second I corresponds to the I which is present in subclass. But that is not true, right? So let us check. So let me run the program and let us check. You see that? What output I got? For both values of I got the value as 2. But what we are expecting? We are expecting the first value of I should be 1, the second value of I should be 2. But we didn't get expected output. Why? Let us check. Here, my class B is having the same instance variable name what my superclass A is having. See that? Again, I repeat, my subclass is having an instance variable called I, and the same instance variable I is also present in my superclass called A. When my subclass is having the same instance variable which my superclass is having, then my subclass is going to hide my superclass instance variable. In other words, my class B will not contain this instance variable which is present in the class called A. So that's why inside the constructor, when you're writing I equal to A, this I is not referring to your superclass called I, but this I is referring to your I which is present in your subclass. Similarly, this I is also referring to your I which is present in your subclass. So when you're trying to pass the values, what's going to happen? You're trying to pass value 1 to A, and now this I is referring to your subclass called I, and to this I, what you're trying to do, first you're trying to set the value of I to 1. The second, what you're doing, you're passing the value of 2 to B, and again for same I, when I say same I, means for the same variable which is present in the class called B, you're trying to reassign a new value, that is 2. So that's why when you're trying to print the value of I inside the show method, for this both i's, you're getting the output as 2, right? Now what is my intention? My intention is I want this I to be the I which is present in my superclass called A. So how I can achieve this task? So in order to achieve this task, before this I, you can prefix with a keyword called super followed by dot. So once you write super dot I, means this I refers to I which is present in your superclass, right? Now, here also, if you write only I, so this I refers to your I which is present in your subclass, but I want this I to be I in the superclass. So therefore, I need to prefix with a keyword called super followed by dot. So now, if I run the program, I'll get the expected output. That is, the value of this I should be 1 and the value of this I should be 2. In other words, this I is nothing but the I which is present in my superclass, and this I is nothing but the I which is present in my subclass. So let us check. Yes, let me zoom. You see that? Got the expected output. This I in superclass is 1 and I in superclass is 2, right? So these are the two important uses of super. The first use of super is we have seen inside the subclass constructor. The second use of super is just now we have seen, that is when your subclass, that is when your subclass is having the same instance variable name what your superclass is having, then my subclass is going to hide that instance variable. So in order to resolve this, we are going to use a keyword called super, right? Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.